you know that the data of the use in Abyss are totally public. And although in the channel I don't usually bring that kind of videos. If you want me to bring analysis of the most used characters in every Abyss, leave me in the comments. Today, after giving me a review during the last 6 months of Genshin Impact and the highest uses of characters and equipment. More played in the whole game, today I'm going to bring you a top of Rascal, super strong teams. But they are the least used characters and the least used equipment of Genshin Impact. So today, the video is going to bring you surprises, it's going to bring you learning, it's going to bring you lots of interesting things and equipment. Maybe you didn't know, but maybe you can also give me ideas from some team that doesn't show up on this one. Video, so you know I'll be reading you the comments. And now yes, leave a good like, a good LT of Bennett, subscribe, leave a good comment for the algorithm. Remember that it helps the channel a lot. That the channel team thanks him a lot. That the channel is growing a lot and that we are at the gates of preparing a very good positioning before NATLAN. So exploit everything that's free for you because it benefits us and helps us a lot to keep the channel growing. And now yes, top broken teams that no one plays. Well, start with the 5 stars that many in the community do have a lot of affection. And it is Miko. Yeah, he has quite a lot of teams. To this day, with Shabranulo's many variants of Overload are played that are quite well. But mainly Ye has 2 teams that are his roof, and his greatest damage by rotation. But each of the 2 has its complications, and to this day, after going through the list of the most and the least played on the 2 best Ye teams, currently no one literally plays them, and are Ye Hyperbloom and Ye AFK. That you've heard me talk a lot about this team in a lot of videos and basically consist of, on the one hand, the Ye Hyperbloom has the difficulty, and that's why not many people play it, that Ye has to build triple mastery, but that in the substance has to have critical proportion and recharge to also do damage to a Grabbit with it. The Ye Hyperbloom team must be played with Yai in the field giving. Yi. Lan Nahida with a somewhat nil defensive input but with a distance from Ye that is very strong and very good in the feat. Ye's totems, it's one of Ye's strongest variants, although it's also not played because there are other Hyperblooms. The Nahida double Hydro Cookie, the teams of Algezam, the teams of Sino, the teams of Chlorin of today and many other variants of Hyperbloom that whoever tries this Ye team will explode your head, and just like Ye's team. AFK, consisting of Ye official Nahida Baiju, or in its default Yaya or Kirara, is a team where you throw everything from a lot. Distance and enemies disappear literally as when Thanos snapped his fingers. Is a team with extremely high damage and is a team that allows you to have a lot of defensive sustain if you go mainly with Baiju. But this team doesn't play so much because not many people have Baiju since it's pretty core Yao but people. Nor does it go up much to Yao because sometimes it is not indispensable in any account, nor is it one of the best 4 stars. Next team that not everyone plays, and we follow the line of the Dendro because we are going to finish a very spectacular way. Don't misunderstand my words. So, Razor Thunder Fury. Whenever you talk about Razor in some video and now comes the banner, I always explain this team and always some comment. That Phil the Razor was made, which is basically a team as I explained in the video of Razor's 4 stars with Shin, Q, Nahida, Bennett. There's some variant with Yelan, but I recommend Xingqiu very much because you don't want that damage from Yelan. What you want is the Xingqiu Hydro application with mitigations with resistance interruption and something else so that Razor with Bennett's Chick 6 can hit Pyro's basics, but his ulti hits Electric Razor is going to triple mastery explode. The Crackling and the Hyperbloom at the same time. There are very few teams that rely on cracking more Hyperbloom on the same team, and this is very interesting and that makes the damage increase a lot. The only problem with this equipment is the recharge of energy. But it's the team that can not only give you all the wings of the abyss if you have these characters, and there are 3-4 stars. The only 5 stars is Nahida, but also takes us to Razor, a character of the one quite dear to the sky and allowing us make all the remains of the game. The next team also has to do with a team of the one, and not only that, but plus it's a character-based team that's on the promoted banner. I don't know what this banner's called. Noelle of the 10 wishes and 8 wishes this banner that no one plays today, because it is a Safita. Because it is a Safita, basically nobody throws this banner because it is useless, because it does not tell you the wishes for the normal permanent banner as well. Noelle, who is the character who enters actual quotes on all accounts at the beginning of Genshin, because he has a banner of his own that I do not recommend to throw that today. I wish the few people who have Noelle's banner yet, and without having touched it, you are gigachats. And you're the ones who really know how to read the game. And you know what you have to do and not waste desires, but basically, Noelle has a very rough team that is not played because there are Milestones and Navia with their respective teams, but they're a combination. From Noelle with Furina, that as Noelle cures the team activates very well all the faces of Furina and can be combined with 2 Geos. More and play Noelle Guru and one last Geo as young and as Shori as Albedo, or with Furina obviously, or Noelle Furina. And then play double Hydro for Hydro consonants, and more life and another Geo as you play Noelle. Shot Yellen Furina, and you have a variant of equipment. Noelle is tremendously powerful that practically no one plays. We're going with the following teams, and now we're going to talk about gaming. And I'll tell myself, Phil, but like gaming like teams that nobody plays, like if gaming is an amazing character that no, quiet. Everyone knows that gaming makes Vaporized that also has a match with Gaming Furina, Xianyun Bennett, that you can play more free-to-play playing Gaming Jingqiu Kazuha Sucrose Bar or Bennett, but also has another team that no one plays that is very broken, and that literal can destroy the halls of the abyss, and that only has 4-star characters. And tell me, wait, that gaming has a melted team that nobody plays. And that is literally the best free-to-play teams of all that in Shin Impact. We're talking about the Cryo Double Gaming. Double Pyro or gaming a Cryo with an Anemo, but trying to get him to imbue Cryo if friends, effectively teams of Gaming Diona. Cheeks for the extra Cryo, for the cheeks of the Master's Degree, and so on. Rosaria and Bennett. That is to say, melted at the time was played the Bennett, Xianyun, Rosaria, Xianyun as reverse melts, because the roof of melts and are not inverse are melted. Normal for the Pyro has it today gaming, and here you can replace Dione with Sucrose by pulling the ulti of Rosaria then. The ulti of Sucrose and then Bennett's ulti so that Sucrose is imbibed from Cryo, and here we will play again a team. That doesn't make sense with gaming doing, as I say, reverse melts with spectacular damage in case of playing Sucrose. As in so much Cryo application, I will tell you that it is very important that the descending ones have as half a second. But you have to wait for that half second between. Extender and down, and basically the melted gaming team for new players for full 4-star teams. Gaming Cone Bennett Cone Diona. If it is important in this Chicks and Rosaria C2 team, which is the constellation that gives you more seconds in your ulti, and you have one of the best teams of the game at minimum investment, and above all 4 stars now following with the Pyro. I'm going to explain a team that again no one has seen play but blows the wings. That is an Overload Raiden team. Raiden has many teams like Hyper Carry as the Raiden National, as some Hyper with Raiden playing that triple mastery. With Nahida and Double Hydro, or even some Raiden in the Chordasino or the Chorda Clorind, which is a Raiden with Furina Nahida. Baiju, where you can benefit from the C2 of Furina and Nahida. These equipments with Cart and Electro have incredible ceilings for counting on that, the C2 of Furina and Nahida. But is that Raiden has a team apart where he will not play because it is not a Hyper Carry, and I'm not talking about the team with Chiburs that is the Hyper Carry changing to Kazuha, but is more of a variant of the national Raiden that not many people play, and that in some cases, especially against many enemies or enemies that do not go. Watching you fly out of the Overload is a rig that can tear your wings apart, and I'm talking about a Raiden Overload using especially broken characters. Raiden Kazuha Xiangling Bennett. This team is not that it is so little played. I think it will be more played than the previous ones, but I think that more people who have come to use it is out of necessity because it had no other characters. Xiangling Bennett, this Raiden Overload team. I'm not talking about Chibors, I'm not talking about Raiden variants already. Is Xiangling Chibors? That's also very good Overload team, but this one is used moderately to test it because you're actually going the results. They're gonna blow your head off when you see it, and now we're going with 2 teams to finish the video with a gold clasp relating to it. All the above that may have a lot to do with Emily, that this is the surprise because Emily comes to play teams. On a burn, they will also have equipment vaporizing without a burn, and we know that Quinitz is a Cartidendro, but focused. To burn and crack something that we didn't have until now, but that will make a good performance on the ancient teams of Alhaitham. And Tignari's Hyperlooms with Kooky triple mastery, so you understand me, so we have melted over burn. And above all, with Emily and Crackling, there is a very old Crackling that explodes the wings without any sense. And then besides, take advantage of Kazuha exploiting the Crackling because Kazuha goes triple masters usually. That is Nahida Shinchu who comes here. Very well for the mitigations, the micro healing and everything that helps us to crack the damage beats us Bennett and Kazuha. Because Bennett here is going to blow the attack from who if Kazuha goes with Shinchu mastery. It's true that it hurts, but not so much. Nahida also uses the attack, but takes more advantage of the Bennett mastery. It is for Kazuha to always imbue herself. Pyro and then Kazuha both inside their ulti and the elementals within Bennett's ulti. Once the ulti is finished of Kazuha are always imbued with Pyro and always exploit the Crepitar with 1,000 and peak or more of mastery since Kazuha. You can get 1,000 master's degree with its normal construction, and over Nahida will give a 250 master's bonus to the character. In the field, that will be Kazuha exploiting the Crackling, so you have a team that doesn't make sense that it's a team with characters. As you see, they exist long ago since no one plays but bursts, and surely improves with Emily instead of Nahida. And then, as I say, the reverse melt over burn here. The one who takes the most advantage of all this is Ganyu, and Ryosley Ganyu has. Distance with which, well, because you don't stick the burn and not because you take life alone, but Ryosley, it is melee, and that ends up taking life with only what with the arrival of Emily that will reduce 90% the damage of burn to the character. In the field, as you will be able to play a Ryosley Emily Xiangling Bennett, and this team will be very powerful because Xiangling some melted will release, but it is not what you have to do in that case. The gross damage of Xiangling is very high, the Pyro Consonance. The attack Bufo that's going to give Bennett to Ryosley to melt Emily, who's going to put us inside, and a sub DPS damage, as well as very high, and above all Brisley will be able to clean his gameplay with that melted over burn without getting off life, and eventually end up needing a Barbarian of a Kiki, because she's going to go to the other neighborhood, and to finish, and this is a team that does play, but there are usually many Hydros, and today, since the departure of Furina has more prominence. But before that, people had trouble dividing the Hydros. We have a very powerful team of the most powerful of the game, which is the Bipanchal double Hydro Pyro Bennett Xiangling Furina Yellen. This Furina Yellen team only works if Elan is C2 for the extra application, so that the vaporized ones are distributed between Xiangling and Furina, and besides, you have the Bufo attack that's going to give Bennett to a Xiangling. You have the Hydro Consonance for Yellen and Furina to do more damage. You have Bennett carry in field having elementals every 2 seconds that could vaporize, and whoever doesn't have this Yellen C2 for application. Hydro the team of life has been played with Yellen, Xingqiu Yu Xiangling Bennett, making Bennett also vaporize all failve elemental apart from vaporizing with this Xingqiu GT Nikes, and the application so crazy that you can get to have all the altis of Xiangling. If in the end you play Furina, Yellen Xiangling Bennett, and you don't have Yellen C2 for the app, there's a little less damage, but the vaporized ones are distributed among all, and the damage is still spectacularly high, less when vaporizing takes it to some hit of Yellen's ulti that there if you're going to lose some damage. But if you vaporize Xiangling, amazing if they vaporize. Bennett Elemental 80k off Bennett Elemental if it vaporizes a coup of Furina, another 80 or 100k if it vaporizes a hit of Yellen. There you lost damage so little more, the last one is a bonus track. And here you have the wildest teams less played by Genshin. Impact, I encourage you to try each and every one because you are going to see how the wings melt, how the synergy of the teams is very powerful, and how you're really going to be surprised with the moderately well-built characters, the possibilities you can get to see. And this is the interesting thing about the game, the amount of offset combinations that can be generated. Little more like a good alt and subscribe, you leave a comment for the algorithm we see after. Direct link below the description. Thanks for enjoying and watching the channel video. Take care to have very good day. No.